Live. Hello, hello. We're starting with a new song. My name is Sabrina. Hello, hello.
My name is Sabrina. Welcome to your journey.
Welcome to your journey, the journey of life, the journey of this human experience.
If you're new here, welcome. What we do is we pick a random card from a random oracle deck, and we do an unscripted,
unfiltered
from the card that comes out. Yes. So your turn to pick the card.
My turn.
Let's go. How are you feeling? How are the energies? The energies are always crazy, so I know your answer is going to be like, yeah, they're wild. Yeah.
It is April right now as we're recording this. In our last talk, we were talking about how we've been feeling bored and this idea of boredom. Not that it's gotten us unease, but it's really questioning what is to come. What is this new energy coming through the boredom? Because if you're bored with what is, it's because something else is about to enter. But it can't enter if you're distracted and always doing the same old stuff, right?
And we're disconnecting from the old, so we're moving into a new.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting if you actually think about it. We're moving into an unknown, but at the same time, it's a little scary for some people. So if you didn't watch it, go ahead and watch it. It's episode 4.
Yeah, it's boring but exciting.
It's boring.
I say because we're bored.
The
boredom is boring, but it's exciting on the same time.
There's nothing boring about us. We're picking
Not us. I'm talking about boredom.
We're picking from the Wisdom of the Oracle, which is a favorite amongst many people.
From Collie Baron Reed. And the card that came up was building blocks.
Ooh.
Which kind of ties into what we were talking about last, the building blocks of life. That's what I'm getting here, right? 8, 9, 10, 1 is a new beginning. So building blocks, this card in particular, always sets the foundation. What is the foundation that you're setting for yourself? And have they been set in, like, are they rotten, your foundations, right? Like, are they based on false pretenses, false ideas of self, illusions, masks?
Nice.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting. And that's technically what the card kind of represents, this idea of like, are you firm on your foundations and your integrity and your authority, or is it a little wishy-washy because you're trying to compromise, as we talked about last one, or are you trying to fit in into maybe a tribe, or fit into an environment that it's not really serving you?
And it's interesting because if you look at the card, it's like a very strong foundation. If you're not seeing this, it's like there's like columns of bricks, very well masoned, very well cemented. And then all around her are all these like multi-dimensional blocks that are flying all around her. So it's kind of like we're built. See, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
We never really look at these cards. We just look at the and it's like, we tend to forget on this journey is that we're the blocks, right? Like we're always like looking to build a home and this and that, but we're the whole is the initial block that we created. We came in with unconditional love. I think one of the blocks is unconditional love. One of them is patience. One of them is trust. One of them is wholeness. One of them is this. And we're always looking outside of ourselves again to build our life. What is that life that you're building, right? It's just again, we're going to go back to we're building a life within a dream. It's interesting. And all these multiple blocks that are flying around us, it's our higher self, and they're saying, hey,
there's like ideas, like
all
these ideas.
You have there's other things. Why are you focused on this like sedentary dream when there's other
possibilities?
Endless possibilities. The book we had in the other card last time. So I don't know.
Focusing on the blocks that we're almost programmed to focus on, which is wealth, prosperity,
home,
home,
family,
and all that,
relationships.
which is not a bad thing.
No.
They're beautiful virtues, they're beautiful things, and they're actually teaching us who we are at a deeper soul level, because you're having that contrast, you're having these things that you need to, build and persevere, and all of these characteristics are extremely important as well for your well-being and for the development of knowing who you are and what you're capable of as well. And then on the same time, I agree with you, Sabrina, in terms of like, but what else is there? What else? There's so much more out there. If we keep focusing and distracting ourselves with these, what about the dreams and possibilities that our soul is actually desiring for? Our soul wants to emerge from us, those building blocks. Technically, I guess you would call this like spiritual.
Like I guess it's like also what we were talking about yesterday, right? Like the ego is probably built. The ego actually built these blocks with
some of them,
right?
Yeah,
these like really sedentary ones, right? And now all these flying object ones is your higher self integrating, coming in and saying, "Hey,
but what about us?
What about like these? There's so much more. Like, can we expand our mind? Do we need to always like
limit ourselves?
Exactly. Within what we think we like, what we see in our physical, because you know that our sight is so much grander than this, right? It's like we're just tunnel vision right now, and yet there's a 360-degree field around us, and we are always stuck on this. And sometimes it opens up a little wider, and you're like, oh wow, yes. And then the fear sets in, false evidence appearing real, right? It sets in, and you're like, oh, go back to the tunnel because it's more comfortable. And that's like the journey, man. That's the journey. It's been like this, like uncomfortable roller coaster ride, right? Where it's fun, it's exciting, but also wow.
I would say like uncomfortable, yes, but also feels more reliable. But it's not reliable because a lot of the times it's going against your integrity, your true self, your true nature. So it's like, is it really reliable for short-term lived? Maybe, but long term, it's like eating. It's like I was gonna say eating poison, but that's not what I meant. It's more like slow burn. It's a slow pain of like, I know I'm not fulfilling my due diligence of my true
essence,
like the true power that is within me, the true greatness. But I'm just gonna stick with
what I know,
but also stick with what I think is reliable until the universe takes it all away. And then what? There's that.
And that also that like too many times we find ourselves relying on what I already know, right? What I already know feels comfortable to me. So I'm just going to stay here in this little comfort zone. Like there are a lot of quotes out there, to the end of the comfort zone, let's not get out of the comfort zone, blah, 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 which is kind of real actually, because it's like the comfort zone keeps us very, one-laned, like narrow a little bit, and it doesn't allow, like this whole journey to me is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I definitely
nothing about this journey has been comfortable at all. At the beginning, though, when you first start on this journey, I have to admit, I fell into the world of the elemental world of the fairies and the mermaids, and I really did. Which is beautiful because we are still part of them
technically.
But I was like completely like, right, and that's what we do. We go into the magical land of this, but the real work is the clearing of the vessel, and that's this. This is almost like maybe all this is around her is actually her breaking through.
Yeah. But when you say clearing of the vessel, you would include like fairies and all those other.
No, not clearing. Like clearing what's inside, like the body, like the stuck energies,
the densities,
like we talk about.
The density energy of like fear and doubt and all that stuff, all that jazz,
guilt and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Judgment's
a big one.
Self-doubt. Yeah. Worry.
Self-doubt, worry, and and sometimes rebuilding.
Pain and suffering. People are like, I don't want to feel pain, I don't want to feel suffering, but we do that to ourselves. We like live in the pain.
Yeah, a lot of the times
And we
do.
choose to remain on it, and because we're used to it, because we know it. Like, we know that someone passes and moves on to the other plane, and we like sit in grief, which is fine because you grieve, but then you sit in it for a bit too long because you're not really understanding the whole trajectory of the soul.
Well, that, and also you get so comfortable in the pain.
Exactly.
That
yeah.
You're almost afraid of something else because it might be worse than this pain. So you stay in that one, not realizing that, well, if you let it go, you might not have any more pain as well. So it's like
it's interesting, and it's
paradox.
Also like if you're happy, then you're even going to like, it's almost like you're feel guilty about feeling happy.
That's a big one. That was a big one for me. Yeah, when you're happy, you feel guilty because it's, what about everybody else?
What are they going to think about me?
Or that, or like, why am I the one should be happy? Why isn't my surroundings happy too, right? And then you have the people guilt tripping you of like, oh, well, you're happy because of this, and then that whole victimization doesn't help either. But it's part of also your lesson. Can you still be happy if other people are telling you shouldn't be happy? Like, it's part of the building blocks, right? It's how ingrained are you in your authority, in your self-love, to say, you know what, I deserve happiness, even if you don't think I deserve happiness. This solid foundation of like, I am worthy, whether you think I'm worthy or not. I am lovable, whether you think I'm lovable or not. This there's a word that I'm looking for. It's deeper than a foundation. It's like your core values about yourself, that you are then being the example for others to. You're being the example for others. Yeah, exactly.
Like you're the leader in the dark kind of thing. Right?
Emulate that they could do the same.
You're
for
the carpenter, right?
Giving other people permission to love themselves by you loving yourself.
Yeah, because we are all actually leaders. And this is interesting. It's also like the building of the blocks is like building your own foundation instead of like being responsible for everyone else's foundations, right? It's really taking care of your building, right? Your structure, the core, like she was saying, and a lot of people will, as you evolve on this journey, it becomes very like, oh, you're selfish because you're only working on you. And I'm like, yes. And because I don't think it's selfish. I think it's actually selfless, because as anyone in this, whether it's on this journey or anything, is like, if you work on you and you love you, then it's the only way that I can actually love another fully. Yeah. And the only way I can help another build blocks. It's the only way I can help anyone, right? Or help heal anyone, if I am that. But that's why I feel like we've like lost a little bit of our sight. We lost a bit of our line of vision because we were always trying to help everyone else around us. And I've done it too. And then it's like, come back to your core. It's you.
It's like putting the oxygen mask on somebody else before putting on yourself, where it's like completely counterintuitive. If your foundation is rotten and you're helping somebody else build their foundation, well, yours might crumble while you're building theirs.
Nice. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Then how can you help them or anybody else after that? You can't. And sometimes your foundation needs to fall. That's the way you need to go. Also, you need to help somebody else so your foundation is going to break. So you can be like, oh, this is not sustainable. I can't keep doing this. And, learn a little deeper.
Sometimes you have dynamite and it completely blows up.
Dynamite.
And you're like, oh, okay.
The universe works in mysterious ways all the time. Yes.
And it works it's all about trusting that experience that is being dealt. I mean, that is like the key. Come on, man.
Trust.
Why that was taken away from you. Why do you have a fire in the house? Why did this happen? All these but it's very tragic to the human, right? Like, what do you mean? Like, it's okay that I had a fire in my house? Yes, because we needed to clean that up from you. To move on to the new chapter.
Yeah.
Just as an example, of course, but there's so many.
So many. I'm curious to see
Okay.
what's underneath the deck. Oh, loyal heart. That's really
Aw.
cute. It's beautiful. I mean, it comes back a little bit to the building blocks because I mean, if you're loyal to your growth and loyal to your process,
To your
you're
heart.
you're going to attract the right people. You're going to build a foundation that could hold everybody else also in it because they're all going to be self-sustaining at the end of the day. That's the whole point, is that everybody has the skills they need to help themselves, so nobody's really holding all the weight of the world or of that group or that community that you want to. The whole point is to give them that power,
Mhm.
give them that power back, so at the end it just comes full circle and then it's sustainable like that, or else it's not sustainable. Like how we're living right now is not sustainable, technically speaking. Like the old systems are breaking down, and for good reason, because they cannot be sustained for longer than what it's already been sustained for. So I'm
Yeah,
curious
that's
to
a
see.
whole different episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go into it, but that, let me see what else there is. Boom. Time to go.
If anybody had any doubts of whether or not they should leave a situation, place, or thing, this is your sign.
This is your sign, by the way. It's a little message. If you were
Just
thinking
this,
about something, or this
Yeah.
loyal heart.
Number 9 is because you're going into the ultimate cycle, ending of a cycle, which is a new beginning, but you can't have a new beginning because it's number 10. 5 plus 4 is 9, heading towards a 10,
Which is the building blocks.
which is the bending blocks. So true.
That's
Which is
the
a
10.
new, which is a new foundation, which is a
Completely
new journey, a new path. But you can't get into a new cycle without taking the leap of faith from the past, from the 9 other.
And that's
cycles that
huge
you
for
went
you
to.
guys. I know that for all of us, it's huge to
Yeah.
this whole on this journey, we have a lot of clients between the two of us, and it's like it's a lot of letting go of people around you that are not aligned with you. And it's not about rejecting them, because
Yeah.
it's not about that, because they're there for a reason, right? They're there to also help. They're our reflections.
Yeah.
But it's to
We're there to help them too, to a
Yeah.
certain extent. And sometimes
Yeah.
letting them go is what they need to grow, or else it'll be selfish if we're just holding on to them and not allowing them to get that sense of like, oh, she's not there anymore. Now I have to figure this out. You know, when there's always that reliability, that idea that
It's almost like you have to ask yourself, who are you attached to? Who are you attached to in your life, right? And then that's something. If I cut you off, eh?
No.
Like,
no, that's basically my idea was that. It's just that like it's
Yeah.
being selfish if you're holding on to someone against their will in terms of growth, you know, against their growth. So sometimes you have to let them go so they could learn lessons that they need to learn without you. That's why you have to go, because they need to do it without you, or else you're just a crutch for them and they're never going to learn whatever they need to learn. But that's basically what I was talking. But yeah, a big part is to learn what and who are you attached to, because that creates codependency. And then again, it's selfish if you're codependent with someone that needs to let you go to learn the lessons they need to learn. So yeah,
it's like we're supposed to, like, basically on this journey, we're learning to detach, like from what the densities that within us, but also outside of us. And it's like it's almost to stand back and do a little examination of your life kind of thing, and look at like, who am I attached? Like, do I need him or her to survive, or do I need him or her to like feel loved? Do I need him or her to feel happy? You know, and it's like, that's like a big aha moment, because ultimately you don't, right? Need someone to do that for you if you fully love yourself first. And then it just comes naturally. It's not like, for me, I always feel like that the relationship is a bonus. Like, I fell in love with Sabrina, and I fully in love with my ego and my higher self. And then you're a bonus. Thank you for loving me even more. All the three of me.
It's like a quote that I saw where it's like, the love is just the icing on the cake.
Oh, there you go.
Basically, when you start actually And sometimes you need the relationships to show you those parts of yourself that you need to love and look at and appreciate. And then the love that is given from these people are the icing on the cake. So whoever you attract is that icing that you end up appreciating. So yeah.
Clean it up. They're just showing up, these cards.
Yeah.
Clean it up. Chop wood. Like, clean it up. It's like, that's exactly what it is. It's like
it's a big part of it. Yeah. It's a big part of the journey is to learn and trust that if you're letting go of something, something better is going to come in, right?
Or nothing at all, and be okay with nothing at all. Like, it's the expectation of something else coming in. Nothing has to come in. Maybe everything is here already.
The attachments, sorry.
No, don't worry about
it. The
it.
attachments is part of the illusions, right? It comes back to what you were saying. Like, if you let go of attachments and you let go of the illusions that are holding you back from what, Sabrina? Tell me. Because that's where I get kind of like...
What do you mean? Like,
letting go of the attachments for the purpose of what, right? Like, what's the purpose of letting go of attachment? To feel united?
But attachment, because attachment is usually linked to fear.
Yeah.
You're holding on to something because you're afraid of the next step. You're afraid of not being loved, not being happy. You know, all these like, I love and happiness and all these things that we look to attain to, but we are that already. So we don't need anything else. That's why we don't need attached to anything. You don't attach to a home to make you happy, to travel to make you happy, for that cocktail to make you happy. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I need it. I said, no, you have it all within you. And if we could only find that within us, that's attaching to something exterior, external.
So what would you say is the whole point of this 3D experience then?
It's to enjoy the earthly experience, to enjoy the cocktail, but not attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I went and I had a Manhattan. Oh, it was beautiful. It would float right through me, whatever, blah, blah. But that's it. It's not like, oh, I need to go back and have 10 more of them. I need to go back and have a Manhattan because that's what made me happy.
Yeah. That's the attachment. Basically.
That's the attachment to it. Or
we think the Manhattan is what made us happy.
I need to be in this relationship because that's what made me happy, but it's also made me really sad and paranoid and depressed. But we only like link to the, this is what I always look back at. We always look back at our old relationships and we always look at the good parts of it, right? We're like, oh, I was happy then. It was like really good. But then we don't remember the fucking mental, emotional, and sad insanity of it, right? The banging of the doors, he's looking at someone else, she's doing this. Like, it's like we forget. We have amnesia, like temporary amnesia, humans, and that's what it is. It's like you won't when you're not attached to a human, a person, a place, a thing, a location, a car, or whatever, a liquid or whatever, everything just flows. Everything just is.
Everything just is. Yeah.
It just is. And it's not like it's not even important. You haven't even attached to the experience. But we are here to have the earthly experience, but we're not here to attach to the experience. Like yesterday, I had a beautiful day of walking, but I'm gonna give you another. And I know, like a lot of people are talking.
There's no time.
I'm talking, but there's like I have someone dear to my heart who's a little bit older, and is always like, "Oh my God, I forgot what I did yesterday, and I forgot what I did last week." And I'm like, "Hail that! We don't need to be holding on to those memories." Attaching to what you did yesterday and attaching to what you did last month and 6 years ago and 10 years ago does what for you? Nothing. It just makes you hold on to density within the form, within your vessel.
To a certain extent, yeah, for sure. If
you remember things and it's like, oh, that's right. I think memories come up and they're like, oh, that was so nice at time, but boom, it's okay, it's gone.
Yeah, I think for me, it's still like this idea of like, okay, but what is the purpose then? Okay, it's to enjoy the experience, but then what?
Your purpose is not to do this.
Then what?
Your purpose is to just sit and activate your freaking light.
Just be, I know. But then that's it. I'm just here to be and activate the lights
and to create a new earth.
And to create new earth, and then what?
my God,
You know?
creating new earth. It's exciting to me.
It should be excited. I should be feeling excitement. I agree.
Oh yeah, but she's like dealing with her own little separation issues from the star system.
I don't know exactly what it is, but apparently that's what it feels like. This whole like idea of separation, or more like, okay, but what else is there? You know, what else is there? And that's the whole point. We're not supposed to know, but there's like a cycle for me that I need to break.
Yeah,
and I haven't gotten there. When I figure it out, you'll be the first to know.
And it's also she needs to fall in love with the unknown, because it's her ego that wants to know. Her ego, that's where the ego comes into play. Because like, Katerina, you need to know, or else like, what's your point here? What's your purpose on earth? That's what the ego is like trying to, that's the struggle of the ego, right?
They need to know, yeah, to a certain
and
extent.
the higher self is coming in, trying to push their way out. And then that's when she has her breakthrough moments, like, yeah, my higher self breakthrough. And they're like, I don't need to know anything, Sabrina. I'm here. I am just me. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah. Until the cycle comes back, and then I'm like, well, anyways, here we are again. But it's part of the building blocks. It's part of this idea that there's still rotten foundations in my subconscious, in my beingness, and it's all designed. I've noticed, if I notice anything, is that if you really want something, it's going to be taken away to see how attached you are, and how you can detach from that, so you can, I don't want to say get something better, but more in the sense it's going to be taken away so you can learn that you're okay without it.
Yeah.
So you can learn.
Amazing. Yes.
So you can learn that, you know, he's or she's not going to give you the love that you're looking for, but you can give yourself that love and support that you're looking for. And then, you know, a lot of people come up to me and they say like, yeah, but we're designed to be in collaboration, and we're supposed to be in groups. And I agree. And this is where my cycle, where my separation kind of comes into play. And it's just like, okay, well then, yeah, if everything's going to be taken away so you can learn these lessons, what's the whole point of this journey? What's the whole point of being in this world with other people? I'm not there yet.
Yeah, but you are almost there.
I am there yet. It's just like, it's my 3D reality has my 3D mind, my avatar, this human character, Katerina, that I'm playing, which I love. I love playing her. I've chosen her in this lifetime for a reason. But we still ask these questions, and it's part of the building blocks. Yeah. I'm asking these questions because there's something deeper inside that I need to discover about myself, probably to its core, at its foundational roots. So
it's interesting. I'm going to bring back what your friend said. Like, we're supposed to be in groups. We're supposed to be in communities. We're supposed to be in soul tribes. We're supposed to be in soul families. We're supposed to be in tribe. But the only way to get into this is to work on you first.
Yeah, 100%.
And this is the work, and a lot of people hold on to the groups and the gatherings and the ceremonies and all these things and getting together again. But really, it's all you. You need to work first with you,
and
individually, and the groups can help you along the way. But I feel like,
to a certain extent,
people
then you can get attached to it.
Yes, it's what it is. They attach to it, and then it's like dependent on that person that's leading the group to take care of the whole group, and it's not that.
No, to a certain extent. Like, I do believe if everybody steps into their role by loving themselves and being aware and like building those core foundations, I do believe that a certain hierarchy will be achieved, but for the greater good of all. Now I feel like it's
disjointed.
Yeah, I feel like too many people are reliant, are dependent, are codependent, are too attached. So everything's all like
muddled.
Yeah, energetically unbalanced. So the groups are unbalanced, and this is why. But then it's part of it.
It's part of the journey, right?
Okay. Motherfucking journey.
It's part of the MFO journey. But like, it's like fine, and it's fine. I hate that word. It's a trigger word. Anyways, it's okay. It's like, this is us learning our way through it, right? This is like, that's why you can't get upset at yourself for being confused, for feeling separated from your star.
But you can't. You're allowed to feel angry.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you're allowed to feel
all of it, but don't hold on to the anger.
you know,
Please.
or hold on to it until you can't hold on anymore, because eventually you won't be able to hold on to it. So it just depends on how much pain you want to feel at that moment, because you're going to be feeling pain. You can hold on to it until you're fed up of holding on to it, or you can ease into the charge by saying, you know what, I'm not okay right now, and that's okay.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. I'm
not okay right now.
Punch that pillow is what I say.
Yeah.
Go out and scream into the woods or anywhere. It doesn't matter.
And that's something I need to work on, because I realized that I can't scream when it comes to
in your car either.
I mean, I can scream when I'm alone to a certain extent, but when it comes to group setting, I never feel safe enough to actually scream, which is something I need to
I don't do that either.
lean into. But I mean, you should be able to feel safe enough in a group setting, sort of to a certain group setting, so you can express certain emotions, right?
I mean, you don't have to do anything.
No, you don't have to do anything either.
Obligations.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
It's where
true,
you
it's
feel.
true,
If you feel comfortable screaming into your pillow, scream into your pillow.
But if you don't feel comfortable, that's something to lean into. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying okay,
you know?
because like you're feeding into fear. You're afraid of what the group might think.
Exactly.
People pleasing. Again,
Exactly.
that's episode number 20. So like, okay.
Well, I mean, we touched a little bit on our last podcast too, where it's like compromise, right? Where you compromising yourself for the whole, you know, not stepping into your greatness because of certain fears and self-doubts. But you can go to the episode. Check that out.
All right, I think this is good for this one.
I think it's so good. I think so.
Like I said, we can go on and on and on.
And we probably will.
We will one day. 24 hours.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen when we'll do a live 24 hours gig. Who knows? Invite people.
Yeah. When we go, like, we're gonna rent a little chalet, a cottage, and we're gonna like literally keep it on all the time.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think it'd be cool.
All right, let us know if you'd be interested in that. How about that? Let us know if you've been feeling this conversation. Do you feel like there's certain foundations that are rotten that you need to let go of? Are you afraid? And why are you afraid? Can you tell us? You know, where do you have to clean up the gunk energetically, physically, mentally, relationshiply, whatever, all that jazz? What do you have to? And you don't have to tell us anything at all.
No, but it would be nice. Leave comments. We love that.
Yeah, we definitely love.
And ask questions too. We can use that in one of the episodes, upcoming episodes as well.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so it's toodaloo until the next week.
Yes. My darling, should I put a little theme song in it with the theme song? Let's end it with the theme song.
We'll get your Manhattans.
It sounds like a Manhattan kind of vibe.
Do whatever you want.
Thank you again.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye.